Tonight, we take pleasure in bringing you Suspense, a weekly anthology of notable melodramas from stage and screen, fiction and radio, presented each week to bring you to the edge of your chair, to keep you in suspense.
It all began about 5 days ago. I should have known sooner that something was wrong. I should have known by her eyes. It was her queer look, staring at me one moment, avoiding me the next. Well, I came home late one Monday night. Marie was already in bed. I sat at my desk, reviewing my day's work. The investigation of a fire on 2nd Avenue the previous night. A 5-alarm blaze that had completely gutted an apartment building. At some point, I fell asleep. Then suddenly, I was sitting bolt upright, wide awake, with the strange feeling of being alone in the apartment. I got up and looked in the bedroom, but our bed was empty. In the bathroom, in the kitchen, Marie was nowhere to be found. I looked at my watch. It was 2 a.m. So I got dressed, walked out, and rang for the elevator. It was nothing, of course. It was nothing important. But my heart kept hammering away.
Good morning, Mr. Jordan. Kind of late for you, isn't it?
Yes, good morning, Stevie. Did you see my wife go down?
Yes, Mr. Jordan. About a half hour ago, I'd say.
Yes, of course. Did you see which way she went?
I sure did. She went toward 3rd Avenue. Said she was going to the drugstore.
The one over on 96th Street.
That's the one. It's open all night.
Huh. Thanks, Stevie.
Don't mention it, Mr. Jordan.
That was it. She went to the drugstore. I was worrying over nothing at all. I didn't know what to do, quite. I didn't want to follow her. But the elevator operator was watching me. So I strolled easily towards 3rd Avenue, looking up and down the deserted street. Then I saw her coming, walking towards me briskly.
Harry, what are you doing here?
Why, I woke up and saw you were gone.
I couldn't sleep. I had a dreadful headache, so I decided to go down for some aspirin.
Yes, of course. But the drugstore's on 96th Street. You were coming from 98th.
Why, I decided to take a little walk. Thought the fresh air might do me some good.
Yes, it is a nice night.
And anyway, I've only been gone about 10 minutes.
But Stevie says you left about a half hour ago.
I said it was only 10 minutes.
Okay. Stevie was just guessing, anyway. And so I let it drop. Still, I felt like something was wrong. We got into our apartment and went to bed, laying there silently in the darkness. Then Marie spoke.
You've been working too hard, Harry. Don't you think you should take a week off and get some rest?
Oh, I feel perfectly all right, dear. There's nothing wrong with me. Listen, a fire. A fire! Not far away, over east a couple of blocks, by the river, I'd say. That's my district.
Fire.
Now what? Hello?
Harry, sorry to wake you in the middle of the night. There's a bad one over near you between 2nd and 3rd. Maybe a total loss.
Between 2nd and 3rd, Mr. Parmenter? An apartment building?
Yeah, 98th Street. 340 East 98th. I called you because I'd like you to go there direct first thing in the morning rather than come to the office. We need to get this fire investigation underway straight off. Okay? I'll meet you there.
340 East 98th. Okay, Mr. Parmenter. Good night.
Good night, Harry.
Fire? Over on 98th Street?
Yeah.
Was anyone hurt?
Mr. Parmenter didn't say. I'm bushed. Good night, Marie.
Good night, Harry.
Well, there it is. Gutted. I guess we'll be paying off on this one, all right.
Yeah, completely burned out. Anyone hurt?
A few, but no one dead. Luckily, they just installed the new fire escapes.
Just the walls left. That fire must have been quite a sight at the height of its glory.
Yeah, quite a sight. Those walls look pretty bad, like they might collapse at any time.
The building will have to be raised. The fire did its work well.
Say, here's the commissioner.
Hello, Parmenter. Jordan?
Commissioner, do you have any further information?
No, not a thing.
Well, we'll take a look.
I wouldn't go in there, Jordan. Those walls look pretty bad.
Oh, don't worry. I can take care of myself.
Maybe you shouldn't, Harry.
Look, I know fires as well as anyone. You stay outside, Mr. Parmenter. I'm going in.
Come on back, Jordan.
I'm all right. Say, what's this? A glob of yellow metal. Like gold.
Did you find anything, Harry?
Not much. The fire started the same way the others did, in the hallway. The cellar's untouched, and fire works its way up.
What's that in your hand?
Oh, just a piece of metal I found. Any idea what it is, Commissioner?
Oh, probably one of those doodads they have for on baby carriages.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It isn't anything. But it was something. Somehow, I just knew it.
Hello, Harry. You're home early today.
Yes, I got done sooner than I expected.
Would you like a drink?
Thank you, no. I'll just smoke my pipe while I go over my notes from this latest fire. 4 in as many nights, and all in my district. Looks like the work of the same arsonist, too. What the devil? Marie, where are all the matches?
Oh, I needed them in the kitchen. The pilot light keeps going out.
Oh.
Shall I light your pipe for you?
Oh, thank you, Marie. Marie, where's your locket?
What?
The locket I gave you. I don't think I've ever seen you not wearing it.
Oh, well, I gave it to you.
To me?
Yes, I put it in your pocket to have fixed. The catch was loose.
I don't remember.
Well, you've been very forgetful lately.
No, I'm sure you didn't give it to me.
Maybe I forgot to mention it to you. I put it in your coat pocket, Harry. I wanted you to take it to the jeweler to have the catch fixed.
When?
Yesterday. Yesterday morning.
Then it should be in my pocket now. I wore this suit yesterday, too.
No, you wore the gray one yesterday.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'll go take a look.
No. I took that suit to the dry cleaner earlier. I'll stop by tomorrow and get the locket from there.
Marie, are you all right?
Why, yes, of course. I'm perfectly all right. There's not a thing wrong with me.
I just ask because you look worried, like you've got something on your mind.
Oh, it's nothing. I've just been having a headache.
Oh, maybe you ought to see the doctor.
Oh, no. It doesn't really amount to much.
At least let me get you a cup of tea. Why don't you sit down, Marie?
No, really. It's all right.
It'll just take a moment. Alongside the gas range, there was a paper bag full of matches. Every match in the house. Marie had told me that the pilot kept going out, and yet I'd had no trouble with it. Absently, I fiddled with the glob of yellow metal I'd picked up earlier. Then suddenly, I had a thought. Rubbing the blackened spots away from it until it was gleaming, I noticed a thin crack in the metal. Using the edge of a knife, I enlarged the crack to the full length of the piece, and then pried it open. Inside was a tiny piece of scorched photographic paper with my face on it. That night, there was a fifth fire. This one over on 102nd Street. Another apartment building. Fire started in the ground floor stairwell. But as destructive as the others had been, this was infinitely worse. Completely gutted. A total loss. Just like the others.
No. No, not like the others.
What are you doing in here, miss? You need to leave. It's very dangerous. What's left of these walls could collapse at any minute.
No.
But...
I left her. I won't ever leave her again.
Her? Oh, dear God. You must be Mrs. Bradley. Your little girl... I'm so sorry.
She was sleeping, running a fever. My husband is in the army, and there was no one to watch her. I just went out for a few minutes to go to the drugstore. And then I got back, and the whole building was in flames.
Mrs. Bradley, it's not your fault. You did what any caring mother would have done in the same circumstances.
I let her die.
No, you didn't. It's not your fault. You didn't set the building on fire. It was the same pyromaniac who's torched 4 other apartment houses in as many nights. I should explain. I'm a fire investigator for the Herkimer Fire Insurance Company. My name's Harry Jordan.
Ella Bradley.
Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Bradley.
Mr. Jordan, have you found any clues that might help you solve these cases?
Not a one. In each case, the fire was started under the entry staircases and spread rapidly upward. The perpetrator used materials on hand. It's not uncommon for apartment buildings to store paint under the stairs, an ideal accelerant. One strike of an everyday safety match, and within moments the stairs themselves would burst into flames. After that, the only way out is via the fire escapes. Otherwise...
What makes him do it, Mr. Jordan?
Well, pyromaniacs have an unhealthy obsession with fire. Setting fires provides them with a sense of euphoria, a release of great tension. Given the pattern of these fires, revenge, even at a subconscious level, might be a factor as well.
Revenge? Against a bunch of strangers scattered all over the East Side? What sort of monster would do such a thing?
What sort of monster, indeed. Back at home that evening, I was filled with suspicion. Suspicion and dread that the person I loved most in the world was somehow involved in this devastating series of fires. The thought of it distracted me. So much that when I lit my pipe, The flame of the match singed my fingers before I extinguished it. For a long time, as I sat in my chair, I watched Marie subtly. She seemed extremely tense, constantly on the move, as if waiting for something. And then, when she thought I wasn't looking, her hand casually brushed across the table and picked up my matches. Marie!
Oh,
Leave the matches on the table.
but I need them. I'm rather short of matches, and the pilot light isn't working.
Still not working, eh? Is this the only book of matches in the house?
Yes.
Marie, you don't look too well. I know you've been having headaches lately. Maybe you ought to see a doctor.
I'm just tired. It's nothing serious.
Look, how would you like to go away for a few days? A vacation. I can take care of myself while you're gone. It'll do you a lot of good.
No, I don't need a vacation. There's nothing wrong with me. But Harry, there's
Yes?
nothing wrong with me.
You were about to say something else.
I need an aspirin.
Marie's purse is bulging so much that it looks like it'll burst. What the devil?
Harry, my purse!
Yes, your purse. We're all out of matches, are we? Well, look what your purse is filled with. Matches. At least a dozen books of them.
Well, I bought the matches earlier. They were on sale. A dozen for 5 cents.
And underneath all the matches, newspaper clippings. Fire on 2nd Avenue destroys building. Police calling 92nd Street fire suspicious. And from this morning's paper, 102nd Street blaze claims life of child. Why are you saving these clippings, Marie?
Why, to help you with your work, Harry.
Help me with my work?
Yes, I'm starting a file on suspicious fires. Maybe the newspaper articles will be useful to you in future investigations.
Why, that's very considerate of you, Marie.
Oh, it's quite all right.
As night came over Manhattan, I went to bed. Marie didn't follow. I laid wide awake in the semi-darkness, trying to think what I should do, trying to collect my thoughts. But every time I closed my eyes, I could see the match I'd burned myself with. The flame, yellow and blue, crawling along the matchstick. Then, Marie came in with a cup of steaming liquid.
Drink this, Harry. It'll help you sleep.
Why? What is it?
Cocoa. It's very good for you.
But I'm not the one who's having trouble falling asleep.
Neither one of us has been sleeping very well the past few nights. I'm having some of this myself as soon as I go to bed.
All right. Leave it on the nightstand.
Be sure to drink it while it's hot.
Yes, Marie, I will.
Good night, darling.
Good night, Marie. Cocoa, huh? At that moment, I knew. I looked around for something to pour the liquid in. There was a radiator pan. It was empty, so I emptied the contents of the cup into it. Then I laid back and waited. Waited for her to make the next move. About a half hour later, the door opened softly, and Marie tiptoed towards the bed.
Harry? Harry? Are you asleep?
I didn't answer, but breathed evenly. She hovered over me for a moment, then tiptoed out, carefully closing the door behind her. As I heard the apartment door close, I dashed out of bed. Already wearing my clothes, I quickly poured the liquid from the pan into a bottle and put it in my coat pocket. Then I left the apartment and rang for the elevator. She only had a minute or two head start. I'd catch her easily. And then we'd have a showdown. Hello, Stevie.
Hello, Mr. Jordan.
My wife just went down, didn't she?
Yes, sir. Just took her down, Mr. Jordan.
Did you happen to see which way she went?
Headed north, I think, uptown. She sort of stopped me for a moment and then walked out and turned left up 2nd. I had to get back to the elevator because you were ringing.
Thanks, Stevie.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
I reached the corner and looked up 2nd Avenue. She was walking north. I crossed to the other side of the street and began following her, keeping at a distance. At 102nd Street, she turned east. Down the middle of the block was the remains of last night's fire. She paused in front of the gutted building for a long time, just stood there, looking at it. Then she walked inside. I waited for a few moments and then followed her. It was pitch dark in the burnt-out hallway. Ahead of me, I could see the glow of a match. Then I saw what she was doing. She was collecting the charred debris of a baby carriage. How foolish. There wasn't anything she could burn there now. She lit another match. I watched the flame light up her face, a face so intent upon her work that she didn't even hear me approach. Marie!
Harry, why did you...
Come along, Marie. We'd better get out of here before the police catch us. I took her hand, and without a word she came along. We walked home in complete silence. When we came to our apartment house, we stopped and I rang for the elevator. In the light of the hallway, I could see her face, ashy gray, eyes bright and painful. You run along upstairs, Marie. I'll be right there.
Harry, you're not going to...
Run along, Marie. I'm going to the drugstore to get something. You'd better be here when I get back. I came home a half hour later. Sitting in the dimly lit living room, she was waiting for me.
Harry.
I had the cocoa you gave me analyzed.
I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
It was very easy for the druggist, especially when I told him what I thought was in it. Sodium amytal. That's the stuff that makes you sleep through an earthquake.
I knew you wouldn't take it voluntarily, and I needed you to sleep.
Why? So you could go back to 102nd Street? What did you think you were going to do there?
I was looking for some keepsake of that poor little girl.
Oh, so now you care about her.
What do you mean by that?
You know very well what I mean. Well, we're going to bring an end to this. Let's burn up every match in the house. We'll never bring another match in here. See? This is the first book. It's turning black. We'll do it with every last book of matches.
It's no use, Harry.
Strange this should happen to me. Me, a fire investigator. Give me the matches, Marie. All of them.
No.
Give them to me!
You'll just get more.
What do you mean, I'll get more?
You really don't understand, do you?
Oh, I understand plenty. My wife, the firebug!
What? You think I'm the one who started all these fires?
Oh, there's no sense in denying it now, Marie.
Harry, it wasn't me. It was you!
Me? Oh, that's a laugh. I'm a fire investigator, in case you'd forgotten.
Yes, you're a fire investigator. An overworked fire investigator who hasn't had a vacation in 5 years, and who may be so subconsciously resentful that he's burning down Manhattan, one building at a time.
So it's come to this, has it, Marie? Trying to frame me for your misdeeds? Well, whose locket was at the scene of one of the fires?
A locket that I'd put in your jacket pocket the morning before.
Ah, so you say at any rate. And I guess that night, when I caught you coming back from 98th Street, you were just going to check up on my handiwork, eh?
Yes.
Marie, we're never going to be able to help you if you won't admit that you have a problem. I don't blame you for liking fires. It's not your fault. Fires are beautiful to watch.
So bright and clean.
They burn up all the filth and dirt.
Spoken like a true firebug.
Oh, you would know. I saw that glint in your eyes as I burned up those matches. And you don't look well. So worn and tense. By now you know that the only release is to set a fire.
That's funny. You don't look so well yourself. It's a windy night. A pyromaniac's dream.
So I should call the police now, before it's too late.
No. Why don't we wait a while and see what the night brings?
So ends The Night Reveals by John C. Alzadek and Dana Perry Hayes. Tonight's story of Suspense. Suspense is produced by Blue Hours Productions and recorded at Melrose Music in Hollywood, California. Tonight's radio drama was adapted for radio by John C. Alzadek and Dana Perry Hayes from the short story by Cornell Woolrich. David Collins was Harry Jordan. Susan Eisenberg was Marie Jordan. Adrienne Wilkinson was Ella Bradley. Christopher Duva was Mr. Parmenter. Dana Perry Hayes was Stevie. And Steve Moulton was the fire commissioner. I'm your host, Damon Krall. Next week at this time, tune in again for another study in suspense.